Hi, what's up guys? This is Belle from Camblliye. See what I did there? I added an E. That's the way I'm going to spell it. Just letting you know. So for today, I wanted all of you to get a little bit personal with me, moi. Some of you may know this YouTube channel is actually a company's YouTube channel. But that doesn't mean we can get to know each other and connect, right? So in my previous video, I asked all of you to leave comments of the things that you wanted to ask me, and I think I got a pretty good wide range of questions, and it seemed like the questions were either about me or about Camblliye, the company. So I thought it'd be a good idea to separate the two, and in this video, part one, I'll talk about myself, who I am, where I come from, where I grew up, what kind of things made me grow. And in the following video, I can talk about Camblliye, the company, how I got to work with them, their vision, and so on. Also, at the end of this video, I have a very, very special announcement for you guys. So stay tuned. My name is Belle. At least that's the name that I go by in the tech circles in San Francisco. But my real legal name is Lee. I was born here in Seoul, Korea, and I'm a Korean citizen. But I wouldn't say I'm a very typical Korean girl. I guess there are multiple ways that I can describe myself, but one unique way to describe me would be that I am a third culture kid. My sister taught me this term last year, 2 years ago? No, last year. And what it means is that it refers to kids who grew up in many different countries, attended international schools, and who grew up to kind of lose their sense of identity as a citizen of a single country, but rather consider themselves as belonging to this global community of expats. So as for me, I was born here in Seoul, Korea, but my family moved to Calgary, Canada in my 5th grade. Great for skiing. And we moved to Lima, Peru when I attended middle school there, and my high school I was in Jakarta, Indonesia. Yep, and for college I was in the West Coast, UC Berkeley, and for grad school I was in the East Coast, Harvard, Boston for a couple years. And I took some time off to work in Singapore and Korea. Meanwhile, my parents moved from Jakarta to Milano, Italia. Yeah, so yeah. And now I am living and working in San Francisco. So I only have to cover Australia and Africa. Then I can truly say I've been everywhere. Yes. Well, that's a unique kind of childhood, isn't it? Thinking back now, I think I am very lucky that I got to experience so many different cultures at such a young age. But growing up back then, I didn't really like it. But, you know, I was a teenage girl. Teenage girls hate everything. Everything, right? So, yeah, no offense to my Latino friends, but when I moved to Lima, that was around the time when hip-hop started to catch on in Korea. And, you know, baggy jeans, rap, gangster, that sort of things were kind of cool. But then I moved to Lima and people were in these tight jeans with showing off their belly and dancing salsa. I was like, ew. I'm just kidding. I'm just very grateful that I had such a wonderful, very unique childhood. Yes, I do have an Instagram account, although I have to say it's a very personal one, meaning I post random things that I think it's kind of cool, or selfies, lots of selfies. So yeah, if you have an Instagram account, this is the address. Follow me. I graduated high school in '03, and it's been 10 years since I graduated from college. Whew, you can do the math. Yep, getting old. I briefly mentioned this in the other videos, but I studied architecture design, both in college and grad school. The reason why I chose that specific major was in high school, I liked art, I liked math, I liked physics. So handsy combination. But I also like decon. So had I chosen a different combination, who knows what kind of life I would be living right now. C'est la vie. Well, I took GRE, I put together a portfolio, and I wrote my SOP, and then I applied. To be honest, I graduated from college in the States, so I kind of knew the process, so I did everything on my own. But if you are in a college in Korea or graduated from college in Korea and not sure about the admission process, I know there's some hagwons and ask for consultations. I am happy to talk about the admission process, but maybe in a different video. Well, my heart basically left architecture after my first year at grad school, and it's been a long time since then, and I really never practiced it, so probably I'm not the best person to talk about this, but I do get a sense that it's a little bit better in the States than in Korea, although it's still a very difficult industry. It's a tough industry. Favorite movies? I like Disney movies. I think they have this sense of wonder, dreamy kind of quality in each video, each movie that they create. So I like them. Also very good songs. And I also like sci-fi movies that create this worlds that is completely different from the worlds that we live in. Like Star Wars or Harry Potter or Game of Thrones. Yeah. For books, recently I've been reading a lot of businessy, self-development kind of books, like Thinking Fast and Slow, Made to Stick, Contagious, Hard Things About Hard Things, those sort of stuff. But I think my all-time favorites are more commentaries on sociology and psychology, like Michel Foucault or Machiavelli. Yep. My motto. So I have a small tattoo on my wrist. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so it's an abstract compass and arrows. I specifically chose this location so that I can, it's a reminder to myself. So what it means is direction matters, not speed. Also, arrows are kind of cool. An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. Yeah, so when life drags you back with lots of difficulties, it only means it is getting ready to launch you to something even greater. So just focus and keep aiming. My favorite city and state, well, I like California. I think it's such a wonderful place. And I really like San Francisco. San Francisco has everything. The city, the mountain, the ocean, the river. But I also really liked Boston when I lived there, despite the snowstorm and the bad weather and everything. Maybe because I was at school and I worked there, maybe it would have been different. But yeah, I really liked it. I also thought about living in New York, but I don't know. Maybe for a couple of years, but I don't think I would end up living there for the rest of my life. I think I prefer the West Coast. To answer your question, I have been living abroad for almost 20 years, so I was kind of put into a situation where I had to be speaking English all the time, or most of the time. So yeah, that's how I became, I became to speak like this. But I can talk about a couple things that really helped me. So there were times when I felt very uncomfortable speaking English. I wasn't convinced that I was really getting my point across, and I couldn't really understand, or that's what I felt like what the other person was thinking and feeling. So that was very frustrating. I guess I kind of grew older and picked up this, I don't know, 아줌마 mentality. So I began to think, what the hell? I can't speak and understand those slangs because I did not grow up speaking them. And why do I have to feel the pressure to speak like a native speaker when English is my second language after all? Since that switch of thought, I was more comfortable. I began to realize all these people, the English native speakers, they all have different values, different perspectives, and they're all very different. I don't have to be like them. I don't have to be exactly like them. You are your own person, and having that confidence, believe it or not, is super, super, super critical to actually learning a language. And as for speaking, I think dating is probably the best method to become fluent. I am not saying that you should go out and find someone to date with to solely improve your English. But what I'm saying is, it is really helpful and also almost kind of necessary to have that person who speaks a language but at the same time kind of cares about you, is willing to listen to you and correct when you make mistakes. Yeah, in that sense, Cambly is a pretty good substitute. But after all, I think the most important thing is being confident and just being able to enjoy. Just be excited about meeting new people, learning about new culture, expanding your world, rather than being worried about making mistakes or not being able to speak English fluently. So those were some of the questions that I received. And have you noticed anything different? Ta-da! Yeah, I'm at my parents' place in Korea. Woo! I flew in a couple days ago, and yeah, it's great to be back. With that being said, I wanted to meet some of you in person and get to know you, share the stories. So we're hosting a meetup on Saturday the 16th. See the details for more information. We'll have food, we'll have drinks, and we'll invite some Cambly students, and also might even have a special gift for you guys. So make sure you RSVP, and hopefully I'll get to see you in a week or less than a week. Okay, till then, ciao, 안녕.